The constant competition between companies has produced some of the best case studies in business history. I'm talking about Netflix versus Blockbuster, Facebook versus Snapchat, eBay versus PayPal, Nike versus Reebok, and many others. But there's one story that everyone seems to forget about. It involves two of the world's most iconic brands today, and it's more than 60 years old. I'm talking about Ferrari versus Lamborghini, and here's the story. Enzo Ferrari was a legendary race car driver, mechanic, engineer, and businessman. He started Ferrari, but in 1962, he got in an argument with Ferruccio Lamborghini, who owned a local tractor company at the time. Lamborghini was a successful businessman. He owned two Ferraris, one for himself and one for his wife. But rumor has it he wasn't very good of a driver. He consistently burnt out the clutch in his Ferrari. So the first few times, he took it back to Ferrari and had them fix it. But on the third or fourth time, he just asked his mechanic at his tractor company to fix it himself. But when they disassembled the Ferrari, they had one realization. The clutch that Ferrari was using was the exact same clutch that they were using on their tractors. Now, that wasn't necessarily the problem. The problem was that Ferrari was the best sports car in the world, and they were charging 1,000 times more than they should have been for it. So Ferruccio Lamborghini approached Enzo Ferrari and told him about the problem. But Enzo said, "You are a tractor driver. You are a farmer. You shouldn't complain driving my cars because they are the best in the world." Lamborghini responded, "Oh yes, I am a farmer. I'll show you how to make a sports car, and I will do a sports car by myself to show you how a sports car has to be made." And just a year after this exchange, in 1963, Lamborghini was officially launched as a new luxury sports car company. And their mission was simple: to build the best sports car the world had ever seen. The rumor is that Ferruccio Lamborghini also recruited away a few of Ferrari's top engineers, and that the two men, Ferruccio Lamborghini and Enzo Ferrari, never spoke again. But more than 60 years later now, the two brands are more relevant and iconic than ever before. But they went about it in two completely different ways. Ferrari is the most decorated racing team of all time. They have 240 wins in Formula One, the most all time. They've won the World Drivers' Championship 15 times, and they're currently in first place in the Formula One standings today. Still, Lamborghini is no slouch either. The iconic Italian brand created some of the most high-performance and luxurious cars throughout the 1960s and 1970s. And despite facing some financial troubles throughout the 1980s, they're situated atop the performance car market more than 6 decades later. And today, the two brands are bigger and more relevant than ever before. Lamborghini has a brand value of $11 billion. Ferrari has a brand value of $41 billion. Both companies do between $2 and $5 billion in net revenue, and they each ship between 8,500 and 1,100 cars each year. I love this story for one simple reason. Enzo Ferrari and Ferruccio Lamborghini built two of the world's most iconic car manufacturers, but they used one seemingly small argument to feed their competitive spirit for nearly 6 decades. And that led to the creation of $50 billion in total value. And ultimately, that's what the sport of business is all about. As they say, every great entrepreneur is a little crazy.